Stay free with Russell Brand. See it first on Rumble. Mate, what kind of workshops they got going on there? We've got some of the events that could be attended. It reminds me a little bit as a comedian of the Edinburgh Festival. Can we see on screen some of those classes that are taking place? I know that Tony Blair is running a sesh over there. Look at that. There's Brian Stelter's doing the clear and present danger of this information with Brian Stelter. That's going to be a good one. Al Gore still going on about how difficult everything is. And look, Tony Blair, 100 days to outrace the next pandemic with Tony Blair. My God, he's got a head start. I hope that pandemic
don't have any. Because it's him and Albert Bourla.
See, and you dared to mock that woman that asked the question about the next pandemic. They've got a session called The Next Pandemic.
That's outrageous, isn't it? Extraordinary. Which sessions are you keen to attend, Andrew?
Well, the one actually tonight that I'm interested in is about how we can all live a climate positive lifestyle, because last time they all met in May, there was this executive with Alibaba bragging about how he was inventing this individual carbon footprint tracker that monitored what you ate and where you travel and how you travel and what you do. So I'm wondering if that might feed into the climate positive lifestyle that they're going to be prescribing this evening.
Yes, it seems like the management of behavior, the ability to observe transaction, and the sort of B.F. Skinner style capacity to nudge, or even, let's face it, control the way that we live our lives, where we spend our money, how we spend our money, seems to be centrifugal to the tenets of the WEF there. And when you bring that into conjunction with the advances around AI, and therefore, and that means another area where working people won't have any power or ability, i.e. to bond together in low-paid work in order to form unions and to oppose the agenda of the powerful. Seems like they're, in a sense, creating the perfect conditions for globalism, shutting down dissent, controlling information through these new terms that are becoming popularized, mis-mal and disinformation. Are you having a look at any of the AI stuff while you're there, Andrew?
Yeah, AI is actually one of the big themes they're moving in towards this year. And I mean, obviously it's here. There's no avoiding it. It's a part of life now and will become more of one. But what's interesting is that on one hand, they're celebrating it and really making AI this central focus. But on the other hand, one of the sessions on the agenda is about how to deal with technology displacing 1 billion people, billion with a B, from their jobs because of technology. And this is not just replacing some pair of hands on an assembly line with a machine. We're talking about now with AI, replacing human minds. We're talking about replacing thinking individuals. And I think it's going to be a heck of a lot more than 1 billion people that are AI'd out of work. But the challenge is, it's not the people here at Davos that are ever going to find themselves out of work because of these innovations and because of these technological developments. No one here suffered during the pandemic. No one here is going to suffer from the need for reskilling or retraining because some computer has made their job redundant.
James Melville, our guest in the studio, similarly was diagnosing as the main problem or flaw in the Davos and the Davos mentality is that it exposes this bifurcation between the governed and the governing, that essentially the inadvertent metaphor of them being in rarefied air on the top of a mountain, issuing decrees that will not affect them, but will affect ordinary people whose lives they do not understand nor wish to understand, is central to this problem. And it seems to me that, in a way, the amendment to the conditions created by the ability of people to instantaneously communicate through new technology and therefore organize, the ability to oppose centralized establishment agenda through the communication of our own stories and narratives, in particular those that expose hypocrisy and corruption, is one, to create this new terminology, misinformation, disinformation and malinformation, and of course to replace working people in this AI era, to disempower people so that there's even less leverage for ordinary people when it comes to countenancing the evident agenda that the WEF Davos perfectly represents, even if you do get a wide array of sweet chocolatey beverages, Andrew, which seem to have swayed you and brought you over to the dark side. Stay free with Russell Brand. See it first on Rumble.